Here's an air filter that looks pretty clean. It's got a little bit of discoloration right along here. Other than that, it looks pretty good. So it was replaced. Is it replaced because it's dirty? If you turn it over, what's happened is somebody dropped something on it and actually dented it. And so you look at it, even though it's clean and it looks really nice, if you've bent the metal screen that's on the inside or the outside, then you need to replace it. And this one was replaced because of carelessness, and it was damaged. Here's an example of one, and we'll pass it around, that's pretty dirty. It's got a lot of soot in it. And so if you have an exhaust, like if you're running really rich, have a lot of soot in the air, it'll build up, and it won't look very dirty, but soot is so fine it plugs it off. The other thing about this one is the metal wire mesh is actually starting to rust, which tells me it's been in there a long time. It's had exposure to a lot of moisture, and if the paper's had a lot of moisture, it'll become a little bit brittle, and so we replaced it because of the fact that it was getting brittle. This one. I'm going to pass this one around, and we still need to show this one to the customer, but this is one that we pulled out of a piece of equipment that came in here for service, and it's got a safety filter in it, and without actually touching any of this, look at the top of this surface, the top of the safety filter, and then look where the nut belongs here, and you're going to see some really fine lines going in. The nut that was in place in this application, but it wasn't tight, and the dirt went around the washer, and it ran into the top of this and then coated this with dirt. And the customer hasn't seen this, so try not to disturb it too much. When you are servicing an air cleaner, one of the things you want to do is you want to look down that intake tube, especially if you think that there's been a failure. This is the intake tube off of the machine that had this air filter. And when you look down it, you'll see that it's white. The whole inside of this tube actually has dust sticking in there. If you look down there and you see dust, go back to the air cleaner and figure out where did it come from. It didn't get there by accident. And it shouldn't be in there because you have an air filter preventing it from being there. Look at the sealing surface. When you pull this air filter out, look at the sealing surface down here. And I've had brand new air filters, got one in the other room in there, brand new, we took it out of the box, and we took it out of the box, this gasket just fell off. So you're like, should I install it? Hopefully you shouldn't, because if it falls off coming out of the box, that's an indication that there was a manufacturing defect. Send it back. What's that? I'm not sure where it was made. It was an aftermarket air filter. It wasn't an OEM. And you'll see that it was cheaper priced and we got cheaper quality. So it makes you wonder about the paper pleating. If the gasket falls off, what is everything else going to do? So look at the sealing surface, both here and the rubber gasket that comes at this end. When I buy an air filter like this, when I look at this surface, when I buy one of these, it comes with a new rubber gasket. And you're going to want to use it. Always replace it with the new gasket.